I'm Spike, and I am already planning my rimward colony full of pig mutant cannibals.
I'm Kel, and all of my favorite mods are now obsolete because of RimWorld's new update.
I'm Amanda, and Room World confuses me.
And welcome to the Geek Show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, as you often do every Thursday. We have absolutely no fucking plan this
We never
episode.
do.
Well, sometimes we have
Spike,
guests.
so
Yeah.
let's talk about the RimWorld DLC that has been
Fuck.
announced.
Yes. Can we talk about
Yeah,
the Rimworld DLC? I've been dying to talk to you about the Rimworld DLC all day.
is I saw that, and it's like, okay, so they get pregnant, and there's schools, so children's that's one mod that I use that's now obsolete, so we
Oh,
can throw that
absolutely.
in the trash.
All my storage mods
Um,
gone, my childbirth mods and learning mods gone. All the
yeah,
color customization mods gone.
I didn't use those all that much anyway, but the thing is the pawn morpher mod that I have that lets you mutate people into furries. They're still like, we don't know for sure if we're obsolete yet. They're like, we think some of our stuff might be obsolete, but some of our stuff still might be functional.
You know
So
what?
they're like, yeah.
Yeah, my first instinct when I heard about the collect xenotypes and steal their genes, I was like, oh, I was about to like at you and be like, hey, Kel, pawn morpher is obsolete. But I look closely, and while you can have furry people, you can't have furry people. So you can have human
Yeah,
beings that are like covered in fur, like they have a disorder, but you can't have
yeah,
like
but
a
they're
wolf
not like,
person. Yeah.
but you also like, so the big thing is turning your enemies into dogs, because a dog that used to be a person is smarter than a regular dog.
Fair enough.
That is, as far as I know, is not in the biotech one. Also, there's the one about making hybrid animals. Like, I feel like, so some of the stuff you do in Pawn Morpher is redundant if you have the hybrid animals thing. So maybe that one, but like, I don't think like, so basically if you turn all of your colony into wolf people, they get a bonus because they have a pack.
Uh-huh.
So they get like a mood bonus if you have multiple wolf people or regular wolves in your colony. But they get a negative moodlet if they're the only canine in the colony.
Yeah.
And then the same goes for if you have like herd animal people. They get upset if they're alone. But they get if you have a bunch of cow people, they get a moodlet that's like, there's a lot of people like me here. I feel safe.
Yeah,
Um,
for folks who
it's
don't
yeah.
understand what the fuck we are on about, there's a video
Me.
game. Exactly. There's a video game. It's called RimWorld, and I like to say it's the closest thing to Lego that you're going to find in a video game, counting video games that are officially licensed by Lego. And I say that because when you buy Lego sets, yes, you can build what's on the box, but at the end of the day, for most of us, it went into like a big tub somewhere and we could just make whatever the fuck we wanted ultimately. And
Mhm.
we weren't limited by anything except why are we looking at a goat?
Hacking.
Why are we looking at attacking
That's
Amanda?
been in my repertoire of images ever since we started, and I'm not getting rid of it. I just like to use it sometimes.
Okay, fair enough. But you can go into your Lego box and you can pull little pieces out and build kind of whatever you want. RimWorld is like that. It is a game that is ostensibly, oh, you are crashed on an alien planet in a space age world that's a lot like Firefly. And you have your whole goal is escape the planet because you are a castaway on this planet. And there, those are the rules. Play the game. But like 90% of the people who play RimWorld are like, no, I don't think so. And they download like 300 mods and they change it to whatever they want.
Mhm.
And it's fucking rad. Buying RimWorld is like buying 10 different games minimum. I have lost count of the number of times I have looked at a
Would
new
I
game.
enjoy
Game is
it?
yes, you would.
I would.
I've lost count of the number of times I've looked at games on Steam and thought to myself, why should I buy this? I know the exact mod set I could download to turn RimWorld into this if I really wanted to. But I think you like it, Amanda, because it's really customizable. Like, if you wanted to play a world where you just had, like, 2 people who crash landed on a planet and they started a little farm and they had babies and they, kept pigs and cows and goats, you could do that.
Why would I want to do?
I don't know, that's why I said if you wanted to. But also if you wanted to be a pirate space captain, you could do that. If you wanted to be an ancient Egyptian and build a pyramid and mummify yourself, you could do that.
I don't.
If you wanted to be a literal cannibal cult leader, you could
Do
do that.
not necessarily. I guess I don't understand the gameplay. Like I just don't get it. Maybe I should sit down
It's
and watch
like
someone play.
Yeah, yeah.
it's it has a little bit in common with The Sims.
Mhm.
But because they're little like stick figure people, they're assuming that you're gonna
Mm.
control like 20 people at once rather than one or two or like a family.
Yeah.
Uh, so
It's
you're
it's
it's
really fun.
colony management stuff.
And both Kel and I are super into it.
I've noticed.
Though I haven't played it in a while because I've been playing The Sims 4.
Oh, yeah, that went free, didn't it?
No.
Uh, it did. It did.
Oh.
It's going to be free soon. Basically, because it's about to be free, they gave everyone who already owns it gets a free kit pack.
What?
Um,
I'm logging
yeah.
into Origin right now. I didn't know this.
Yeah, you have to grab it before it becomes free. Basically, I got it because there is a werewolf DLC that was recently released.
Yeah.
And I'm nothing if not predictable. And
You just know what
I
you
was
like.
holding off. I know what I like. I was holding
Yeah.
off because I know that I am a completionist at heart, so I'm like, if I open this can, I'm going to start to feel obligated to buy as much shit as possible, even if it's not shit that I'm interested in. And I do know that if you purchase all of the DLC for The Sims 4, it is currently like $1,000.
Yeah, it's
Um,
insane, it's insane.
yeah, so I was like, I know myself, like, I know that I don't necessarily care about some of this DLC, but I'll buy it anyway because I'm a completionist weirdo. Um,
They count on that.
and yeah, yeah, they do. Um, anyway, because I am on a Mac, I cannot buy it on Steam when it's on sale. The Steam version is only for
Oh, I see. I
PCs.
just had to log into the game and it'll give me something called the Desert Lux.
There you go.
Yep.
key. I see.
Uh,
Guess
and
I'm
so,
gonna leave the episode. Bye.
yeah. This is our new live stream where we all play The Sims and or RimWorld.
Streamlabs is Streamlabs is I need to check it out, but Streamlabs sent me a message basically like, hey, we have new implementation where you can actually share, like, stream your friends' screens.
Oh, I would love to do that, and I'd love
Can
to
you
show
imagine like three
Yeah.
of us playing games at once, but they're all 3 different games?
different games, yeah.
Oh, that sounds like chaos.
But yeah, so because I had to buy it on Origin, I was just telling Amanda this. Origin's UI is very stupid. It doesn't have a cart system, so you have to buy things one at a time. You cannot buy multiple things at once. For whatever reason, they decided that's how their store should work. And so I bought the werewolf add-on, and then I was like, all right, there's some other add-ons that interest me. Like there's vampires. And then I go to buy another one. And then when I go to buy the fourth one, my credit card is like, you just had 3 charges that are the same price in the same place. And so that's fraud, and we're locking up your credit card.
That is a familiar experience, not specifically about
Uh,
games, but definitely about, just Iron Circus stuff.
well, it's more like these aren't like big purchases. These are just like because they were the exact same amount that like that's why the bank thought they were fraud. It's like Origin, your stupid UI makes my bank think it's fraudulent when I try to give you more than $20 at once. Like
Mm. Yeah, with
that's the problem for your business, sirs.
yeah, with Iron Circus, a lot of our printing is in China, and every once in a while, I will have to pay a really big print bill to China, and more than once, my bank has texted me going, "Yo, don't freak out, but someone is literally trying to wire $30,000 to China right now. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, do we need to call you?" It's like, "No, no, I'm
Mhm.
fine. I'm fine. I do this a lot. This person is literally in the list of approved wire transferees that I gave you so this wouldn't happen. Everything's fine. I wish you'd calm down. Appreciate the attentiveness, but we've been through
Yeah,
this."
I appreciate that like um that that you're doing this because I feel like my bank account is safer because of it, but it
Yeah.
is irritating.
Yeah.
And also EA, your UI is stupid because if you had a cart system, I could have just given you $80 rather than $20 four times in a row.
Yeah. You know what actually turned me off of, I think, The Sims just in general? Like, I knew when Sims 4 rolled out. I knew it the
Mhm.
instant I saw it. I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna just fucking try and milk me so hard." Like, that was a huge turn off, but I was
Hot.
already kind of, like, off the wagon before that because in Sims 3, at some point, not at launch certainly, but at some point, they
Mhm.
implemented a thing where, "Oh, I'm building my house. I would like to put a sofa here. I'm going to go into build mode and select a sofa. I'm going to click the living room tab." And when you click the living room tab, the first thing they showed you weren't things you already had in your inventory to select from, but now on sale in the store. Hey, you don't have this. Don't you
They
think
don't
you
do
could
that
get?
in Sims 4.
Oh, good, because in Sims 3 I was all like, and that's where you fucking lost me. Advertising to me in my fucking game. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
most of that you can turn off. It's
Oh, that's nice. But I just
Yeah, there are definitely some UI things I appreciate about Sims 4. There are some other things, like there's a lot of stuff that I appreciate. I just wish like there wasn't so much segmenting the game into so many tiny things,
yeah.
that are so expensive. And So yeah, like I made Connor in Sims 4 because that's what I do. I make my werewolf detective in The Sims over and over again. That's
Perfectly
who I always
normal,
make.
perfectly healthy.
Uh and then but so like in the character creator, what I thought was neat is um you can decide if your sim is male or female, and
Mhm.
then you can decide separately if your sim can get pregnant or not, or
I did see
if they
that.
can impregnate people.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then they ask you, is your sim interested in who is your sim interested in sexually? Male, female, none. Who is your sim interested in romantically? Male, female, none. So you could make um an asexual but heteroromantic sim, or a pan romantic sim,
That's
or you
cool.
could make some and if you make, because Connor is gay in the comics, I did make a gay werewolf detective.
Mhm.
um and so he will, like, the Yoo-hoo option just does not pop up with female sims. Like
Hmm.
it absolutely cannot, like, that is an interaction that is locked out for his character.
why
So welcome
I
to
thought
Kel
you couldn't.
talking about
I
their
thought you couldn't.
OCs.
I thought you couldn't get that option unless you level up the romance anyway. Oh wait, they can still be romantic. It's just the woohoo option
Yeah,
will never pop. Okay,
yeah, the woohoo.
I
Yeah. So
misheard.
Okay, can
yeah,
I just
so he yeah.
I was just gonna say, can I not to like get too off topic, but I just
No.
got reminded of something while we're sitting here talking about Sims 4. can I kind of be that bitch? Because
You
What?
can't. No, Spike. You
Oh.
can't just ask, "Can it be that bitch?" But I don't know what that bitch means. I need more
Basically,
context.
a game just dropped, and I was looking at the game, and I was just like, oh. And I don't want to talk too much shit because it's not like the one I am thinking of originally is particularly original either. But I think most of
Mhm.
us here are aware of Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So there's a new Valley game that dropped, and
Mhm.
it's by Disney, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
called
everyone's
it's
talking
called
about that. You're
yeah,
late
and
to
it's
this
called
game.
Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah.
And I began watching Let's Plays of it, and I was like, "Oh, oh, so
Oh,
you
so
just
Disney just stole Stardew Valley?
like." No, I'm not
More
gonna say
like Animal
no.
Crossing. It's more of an Animal Crossing Harvest Moon
Okay.
ripoff.
You can't marry any of them, that's for certain.
I can't marry Donald Duck.
You can't marry Merlin or the Remy
I'm
from
sorry, the game. I
Ratatouille
won't
or
play the game because it
or
makes you talk to Mickey Mouse, and I refuse
oh,
to
yeah.
have conversations with Mickey Mouse.
It makes you talk to all of them,
I
Amanda.
don't mind
All.
talking to Goofy. I don't
You gotta
mind
talk to
talking to Donald. I don't
Merlin.
mind talking to any of them. I don't want to talk to Mickey Mouse. They
Why
always make him look weird.
is that it? Is that why?
No, have you looked at him? Like,
Yes.
every time he's implemented in a game, he's like dead-eyed. They never. It's like they're too scared to make him have too much expression. He's creepy.
Felicitous Miscellany said, I thought that was a joke. They really cloned it. Cloning is strong, but there's a story that goes around Disney that Michael Eisner one day walked into Disney animation, TV animation, and went, my kids just came back from summer camp. And all they're talking about is gummy bears, because apparently that's a thing that happened while they were there. And he just sort of went, gummy bears. They were really into gummy bears. And he pointed at the animation department and went, make something about gummy bears. And that's where that cartoon came from. And Dreamlike Valley, which is the name of the Disney game, has the feel to it like somebody walked into Disney video games or Disney gaming or whatever and went, so my kids, they won't shut up about Stardew Valley. They love Stardew Valley. Make a Stardew Valley, and then walked out and just sort
I
of like went to it.
I it's not similar enough. And Stardew Valley is like
And to be fair,
Stardew
I
Valley
feel
is a
like
part of
Animal.
a category of games. Like
yeah, I
Stardew
mean,
Valley
Yeah.
isn't even
It's
unique. It just
also.
does what it does
I
well.
feel like
Yeah.
Animal Crossing is maybe a better.
Yeah.
Like, if that conversation happened, it was probably about Animal Crossing during the pandemic because
Oh,
it does
entirely
take
possible.
time to make a game.
Yeah. But
So,
at the same
yeah.
time, though, this is probably the impression I'm getting because I'm not really super interested in Dreamlight Valley. If I'm going to be 100, I only watch kind of like the
Well,
first.
you're not even interested in Animal Crossing, so like.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. The first thing that I watched was like the only Dreamlight Valley content I watch, I should say, are usually people's first episodes of a series they're starting. And the Stardew connection was maybe particularly strong with me because some of the first shit that the little Disney characters make you do is basically the grunt work. They make you clean.
Yeah,
They make you dig.
that's most of these style of
Yeah.
games.
And when you show up in Stardew Valley, you know, the first thing you got to do is start cleaning up.
Yeah.
And again, I do acknowledge that Stardew is hardly the originator of here's a farm, clean it up. I get that. I'm aware. I am just saying that that is the impression it gave me. And you're right, Amanda. I'm not super into Animal Crossing, but you know what has caught my eye lately? A game called Dinkum, which is basically, I mean, if we're going to be real, it's Animal Crossing by one guy. A
I've
guy,
seen it, yeah.
and he's like, I wish this was Australian. Seems to be his primary motivation.
It's a little confused. It's fine.
Yeah, for like one person functionally making the
Yeah,
game.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
And
not fun for me.
I've never played it, but I'm more interested in it than I would be something by either Disney or Nintendo. Primarily because if it's by a small independent person or a small group who are making it and not a giant corporation, it's going to be less inclined to nickel and dime and sell you the bun and then charge you for the burger as DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm into.
Mhm.
I'm more interested in buying from smaller creators because smaller creators don't have shareholders telling them to maximize profit at all
Yeah.
costs. So, and
That's
I say this.
just what.
Oh, go for
Oh,
it.
finish your thought.
I was
No,
gonna say
finish your thought. Mine's
that's my deal because at the end of the day, yeah, I'm really excited for RimWorld DLC. I'm like extremely excited for RimWorld
Did you
DLC,
like
and
Homeworld?
yeah, I like RimWorld, and I imagine the people going, "Aha!" But that guy isn't selling you DLC. I'm not opposed to DLC. What I'm opposed to is maximizing profit for the sake of
when the game doesn't function
yeah,
if you don't
exactly.
buy
Like,
DLC.
the thing again, another massive I don't mean to make this Sims 4 night, but a massive turnoff for me for Sims 4 was the base game, vanilla, pure 1.0 Sims 4, shipped with fewer features than
Yeah.
vanilla 1.0 Sims 3. Like, it didn't
That
have a whole
sucked, but at the
life
same
to it.
time, Sims 3 was very fucked up.
I liked it a
Mhm.
lot.
No, no,
But,
no, no. I'm not talking about
I
gameplay.
mean, it just didn't work.
They
Like
put it together
it worked
bad.
okay for me,
No, no,
but
no. They put it together bad. Like it didn't matter how good your computer was. It like had a built-in memory problem.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I have heard that that is an issue. I never experienced it,
Oh, I did.
but
no, no, I remember talking to you about this because you specifically had a mod that fixed it, and that's why you were not experiencing it. Because I
okay.
remember when we were both playing Sims 3, and you recommended a mod to me because mine kept crashing, and then the mod didn't work on the Mac version of
Oh, the
Sims
Mac,
3.
right. I keep
Um,
forgetting you have
so
Mac
so
problems.
so you modded the game to fix the thing that they never fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another feature that I find is very predominant in corporate-made games, and I'm not
But,
just being
and I'm not
anti-corporate.
trying to defend Sims 4, but I'm just saying like if I had made Sims 3 and I wanted to make the follow-up, I'd probably like pare it down quite a bit because like we kind of broke like they honest to God they went too hard on it. Like they did not need to make every single fabric of every single element that a piece of
That is
furniture
my
was made out of
favorite.
customizable. That was
That was my favorite part. I love
yeah, but
that.
like it was
But that's why the game was broken.
it was a very
I
like
love
fucked up game because it was too
I
like
love
there's such a thing as like too much. You did too
I
much.
love
We
it.
just want. Also, I thought the art style of that game was hideous.
Hey, everybody in the chat, just out of curiosity, if we did like a geek show stream where I could show Amanda RimWorld, would you be down? Just go ahead
Uh,
and
I'm
type in yes.
also gonna help with showing RimWorld,
I just
because I
wanted to
also
play
know.
a little vanilla game of RimWorld on stream and just show it to Amanda and be like, this is what you do.
I
And it's
mean,
fun.
it'd be bet. I mean,
I gotta uninstall all my
no,
fucking
no, no.
mods
But here's the
anyway.
thing. But here's the thing. It'd be probably better if I'm playing it and you're bossing me around.
Are you sure?
I mean, otherwise, like, if I'm not enjoying it,
Because it's easier for Amanda to stream her
no, 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 no.
screen.
I can no. I can
Also,
capture Spike's screen. The thing is, if it turns out I don't like RimWorlds,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting quietly and doing something else while you play a game.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean? If
Oh
it's
yeah.
we're showing Amanda game, at least me playing gives me something to do, even if I go, this is
Yeah.
poo poo.
Yeah, felicitous, excuse me, miscellany. Vanilla game, no war crimes. Oh, vanilla RimWorld is full of war crimes.
war crimes. Yeah.
Oh my god, there are so many war crimes. in
I mean,
vanilla RimWorld.
Spike.
All right.
Real quick, I mean, Wednesday nights was supposed to be game nights. I just have been too busy to organize them. We could do game night.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I made
Yeah.
a Discord for
We
it. I've
could-
just been so busy, I haven't been able to organize it.
Yeah, it is a channel on this same Discord. You wouldn't even have to go to a new Discord.
There we go. Okay, then that's something we can do.
Or it could be
And we don't-
Thursdays too.
We didn't intend for this to be video game chat, everyone. It's just how things happen today.
It's
cares?
just,
No
you
one
know,
cares.
new RimWorld dropped. And we
And it's
gotta
all
talk
with
about
this
it.
fucking
We
notes
never
off dead
promised
empty.
anybody a subject, so
Oh my god. But yeah, okay, but you know what? Different topic. How about that? Cal, what are you
Why?
working on? Because video games.
who cares? We spent the last 2 episodes talking very, very like shop talk with 2 professionals. We can
Yeah.
phone it in.
I know.
I
just
have
don't
been
want more
packing and dusting off old shit the entire time we have been talking.
Oh god. Okay, how about this?
Okay.
Okay, instead of
I am 100% happy to talk about what I'm working on. I always want to talk about what I'm working on.
And I always
No
wanna
one ever
hear about
asks me about my gay werewolves, and I'm always quietly sad about it.
I literally just asked you.
Yeah, that's
To be
why.
fair, I interrupted.
Okay, go
Yeah.
for it. Tell us about your gay werewolf. Your detective.
So I am actually almost done with the current story in the city between, which is called Murky Water. The plot of which is that gay werewolf detective and his human partner as in police partner, not as in romantic partner. Um, they are on a case where a man has drowned in his apartment. His apartment is not near the water. He just somehow drowned in his living room. And they very quickly figure out who did it. The problem of the story is more, how do you prove that someone was killed with magic water when the world doesn't believe that magic water exists.
Okay.
I don't believe magic water exists.
Yeah. So it's basically because they're digging into this, the ongoing thing when stories are about Connor and Maria is all cops are bad, and both Connor and Maria are bad in different ways. Someone asked me recently if ACAB refers to Connor and Maria, who star in City Between's detective stories, and I was like, Maria just sent a decent chunk of this recent story going, this fascist makes some good points. So clearly she's a shitty person, even if she doesn't think she is. So I am currently drawing the climax of it, where Maria realizes that the fascist she thought had good points was trying to kill a child, and that was the line too far for her. So they have successfully gotten the fascists to run away. The fascists did get away. Because cops are bad and don't do their jobs. I'm excited about the next one, because the next one is no longer about magic cops, taking a break from magic cops. Going to talk about vampires instead, who are the 1%.
Fair enough. If you live forever, you have a lot of time to accrue wealth.
Yeah, so the thing that I have in City Between World is vampires, when they eat people, get people's memories. So they are literally stealing the life of the person that they are eating. But newbie vampires, because they don't know how to figure out what memories are theirs and what ones are the memories of people that they ate. The next one is going to be about a newbie vampire going through that, and I'm going to try to be a little bit more experimental, because since it's from this newbie vampire's POV, she is an unreliable narrator, because we don't know if shit happened to her or if it happened to the person she just murdered.
Okay.
And so the next story is going to be her trying to figure out who turned her into a vampire, which is hard because she doesn't know which memories are hers. So that memory of getting bit by someone, is that actually her, or is she remembering herself eating someone?
Okay. How long have you been working on this?
So I work on it off and on. And because it's designed that each story is about 80 pages, and they're self-contained, so while I did the first one in 2012, I took a break to finish Misfits, to do Misfits of Avalon, and then I did the second one, and that one went up in, I think, 2014, and then I took a break to do more, to finish up Misfits of Avalon, and so I would have to look up on like when everything came out. The third one came out in 2019.
Whoops.
Yeah, my books just fell over.
Good job.
And so this fourth one finishing up now. This has been the first time in a while that I've been consistently working on it without a break.
That's cool.
Because other commitments have not shown up to interrupt it lately.
Yeah, commitments interrupting is sort of a perpetual feature of my attempts at maintaining any kind of regular production on any kind of comic I'm making. It's always
Yeah,
a
that's why I intentionally try to make it like each book is about 80 pages because it's a good stopping point. Pops up fairly regularly.
Hmm.
And I'm not leaving things unresolved.
Yeah, if there is one thing that I don't know, it's like this isn't an original observation by any means. It's actually incredibly common, especially for people my age, but my
Mhm.
God, I had no fucking idea how much free time I truly had in my 20s. Like I had no clue. It's obvious. It's I would kill
Must have been nice.
for yeah, I know, right?
I don't think that's an age thing. I think that's just different people.
A busyness thing. Just
Because
and
I
the thing is,
was working full time at Red Lobster and got married right out of high school.
and I know I'm not sitting here going like, I'm so aren't I fucking important? Aren't I,
Nah.
finding busy work for myself? The simple matter of the
You
fact
just
is
have
that
shit to do.
I just every time
Mhm.
I think to myself, like, okay, here's a recommendation from your pal Spike. There is a website called Habitica, Habitica, Habitica. And Habitica gamifies your life to the point where if you put things on your to-do list and you accomplish your to-do list, you get to tick it off, and then a little 16-bit avatar gets some gold, some experience, and maybe a drop. And you get to dress up your little avatar and you get to use the drops to go on quests or do fucking whatever. And that is what I use Habitica for, to basically organize my life.
I
So
think I made an account and I got bored and I never came back.
it's been really useful for me. Obviously, your mileage may vary, everyone. But for example, if I need to write out a new contract, if I need to do like right on here right now, I have a meeting with my accountant. I have to redo the production flow chart for the Iron Circus Slack. I need to finalize a logo. I need to make a document to send out to the creators that work with Iron Circus about self promotion. You probably heard me talk about that with Ryan Estrada if you've ever heard a
Yeah.
previous episode of
I mean,
show.
we were talking about it 2 weeks ago, so yeah.
Yeah. So there we
Uh,
go. That's all my to-do list. And there are times I think to myself, okay, if I check off 5 things on my to-do list today, I get to work on my comic. And I'm like, all right, cool. That'll be my motivation. And without fucking fail, day after day, I'll check off 4 things, 5 things, like, okay, I get to work on it, and something will present itself as high priority, ASAP, must happen before tomorrow, and I'll just
mhm.
never get around. I have the comic that I'm working on listed in Habitica as comic page at least 1 weekly. I haven't put up a comic page in at least 2, maybe 3 weeks because that's just been my life, and it sucks, and I
Yeah.
hate it. But I'm kind of trying to be mature about it. I'm trying to be an adult about it, where it's like, even if it takes me 10 days each page, at the end of the year, that'll be 36 pages that didn't exist at the beginning of the year. And that beats the shit out of
Doing
zero.
this after getting the day job at Seven Seas,
Mhm.
doing streams in the evening has really helped me stay on task because that is 2 hours that is just for my comics. Um, and because I'm streaming and I have an audience, people will know if I am goofing off and not doing it. So it has more or less helped me stay on task. That is why I'm like, I'm going to draw and stream while we do Geek Show.
Mhm.
But the city between, like I said, it's designed so I can start and stop when other stuff pops up.
Mhm.
But it was one thing, like, so basically a lot of city betweens formatting is from lessons learned while making sorcery 101.
Okay.
I realized that sorcery 101 hit a point where people stopped reading it because it was too long. Like they were like you can't get new readers at like it's harder to get new readers if after you hit a certain number of pages of a continuous story. So City Between, all the stories are supposed to be self-contained more or less, like you can jump in and read them, and then if you like that one you can read the others. And so that's why like a lot of the stuff that I think about with City Between, it's sort of built on, it's kind of also partly designed like Finder, where I can jump around the world based on what is interesting me at the moment. And so and then like I said, it being about 80 pages is there's a good stopping point at least once a year. Like because it does not take me that long to draw 80 pages. And I also think one of the other things I learned from doing Sorcery 101 is Sorcery 101 does not take place in our world, but a lot of people didn't quite get that. And I realized, like, in hindsight, it's because Sorcery 101's world was not
I'm
different
gonna do
enough.
some hand holding.
So that is why City Between is in a place where everyone takes public transit. There's no horses and no cars. I jokingly say it's a world with no horses and no cars, but it's partly like there are levels to the city, so you can visually see that it is not our universe, just by looking at it. I also realized while working on Sorcery 101, the reason why like the more mundane world building stuff was boring me is because it was too close to our world. So I wasn't scratching my creative itch. I am now having as much fun with like the mundane sort of, well, if this then that, as I do with the supernatural side of things. I have a big list of story ideas that are kind of halfway done for the City Between. And as I figure them out, that's like the order they go in. They don't specifically have an order that they need to happen in.
Okay. Yeah. With Blocata, I just see when you talking about like, oh, there's a point where people look at it and they go, "Fuck, that's long," and then they don't want to go
Yeah.
in. I think Blocata is at least 100 pages. It only has, I think, something like 40 pages up right now. I think that's something that somebody could theoretically sit and read in one sitting.
Yeah.
So right now, I think I'm good. Straight.
When I say people don't want to read it, that's when you hit like page like 800.
Yeah,
like
I can believe that. That's killer.
Yeah.
That's enormous.
The other thing is City Between not having an order to its stories. At conventions, Volume 1 always outsells everything else in the series. But if there is no Volume 1, all the City Between books kind of sell at about the same rate. Like, there's one that is slightly more popular than all the others. But for the most part, like, when I say more popular, it like sells like maybe 5 more copies than the others in the series, rather than like triple what the others in the series are doing.
That's as a publisher, book 1 always sells more in any serialized thing. That's just how it goes.
So yeah, so it's kind of like, so because there is no book 1, that has allowed, I think, the series as a whole to sell better, because people just pick the thing that is interesting the most out of what is presented in the series.
Yeah. I like, this is something I don't need to think about for literally 200 pages, but one of the things that has occurred to me about where I choose to display the comic I'm working on is like, okay, right now Blocata is available in 2 spots. One is a Twitter thread, which I'm going to keep doing that because it gets a great response. And the second is Pillow Fort. And a lot of people are probably wondering, why does she bother doing it both ways? Just choose one. It doesn't really matter. And I am thinking about, the point where it gets to 100 pages, 200 pages, 300 pages, because the way I have it forecast in my brain right now, maybe it's a 500-page story, maybe longer. and nobody is scrolling through a Twitter thread of that length. They just fucking aren't. And
Mhm.
I want there to be a place where you can go and read it and it's divided up by chapter. And while I don't think that it's a perfect solution, Pillow Fort is going to be a hell of a lot better for 200 pages of Placata than it is going to be, right now. Maybe 40 pages, people can take it or leave it. But when it gets meaty and beefy and long, it's going to need a place where people can bookmark something and come back.
Yeah. The one thing that I have been thinking about is so City Between is now long enough that to make room on the convention table, I'm like, I should probably put together an omnibus. But where's the cutoff on the omnibus? Like, how many books should go in the omnibus is sort of the decision that I've been mulling over and haven't really made a decision on yet.
Good. I think I'm going to have to like move up my motivation. I had this whole thing going with Placata where if I get to page 100, then I'm going to buy the domain and redirect it to my
Mhm.
Pillow Fort. But now I think I'm going to move it up to 50. If I just get to page 50 before the end of the year, I will allow myself to buy,
I
the domain.
honestly think you should just put it on Iron Circus.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Like, yeah.
You can still
Really?
post it to Twitter, but like having it hosted on your
Yeah.
website, then you can
Yeah,
customize
'cause
how people interact with it. Because Pillow Fort, as that's great as that is, like it's not optimal reading.
No, it's not.
and it's also like Iron Circus's site is WordPress, and the plugin I use, Webcomic, lets you put up more than one comic on a website. That's why I use that one rather than Comic Press or any of the other webcomic plugins that have come and gone over the years. And so basically I still have, so I have like Sorcery 101 and City Between and everything kind of all on the same site. And so if you put Pulcata on ironcircus.com, and then whenever you want to do something else, you can put that on ironcircus.com too. And like you already have the system set up. So
I mean, you could also just bundle it as PDFs.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Also, you don't necessarily need WordPress. My webcomic is all hand coded and it's extremely simple and basic.
I'm just saying because Spike already has a WordPress site. So,
I know, but having been in the guts of the WordPress site, I would hesitate to add more plugins to that thing. I think Spike would actually be better off with a separate website for her own work and a new WordPress installation because it is convoluted back there. Now it's all necessary to run the store and all the different the crowdfunding and all that stuff, but I would not want to add more plugins to that mess.
Yeah, there are a lot of, for folks who couldn't guess just by looking at it, there are a lot of moving parts to ironcircus.com. There is the front page, there's the store stuff, there's the crowdfund stuff, there's tracking stuff that's back there. There's all kinds of stuff back there.
There are also like non-WordPress CMSs now. I haven't looked into it in a while because I hand code everything and just copy paste and change a few numbers and bam, update.
We also have some really hefty security stuff. I think I've mentioned this on here before. There's only like 16 people here, so it doesn't matter. But there was somebody who was being a complete fucking creature for a while and trying to bust into the Iron Circus back door. Like they were trying to get administrative access to my fucking website. And you're probably sitting there like, well, fuck that. Anyone who's got any kind of domain knows that, attacks like that happen. And they're all out of like middle of fucking nowhere spoofed address in Singapore. And they just try to brute force their way in using, admin or something. Like everybody gets that. No. Whoever was trying to bust into ironcircus.com was trying as passwords. And I know this because, the fucking site tells me when you do this. They were trying the names of characters from my webcomic as passwords. They were trying my husband's name. They were trying my fucking dog's name. They were trying a whole bunch of stuff that random spoofed address out of Singapore attempting to brute force admin wouldn't do. So there's a fucking lunatic
It
out there.
it was clearly a person that knew stuff about you
Yeah.
that was trying to.
Get in my fucking website. And it was one of those things where, they I could tell you right now, I'm not that fucking stupid. Like everything they guessed was wrong. But just like opening up the site and just seeing that, just like, holy fuck, get a life. You know what I mean? But I mean, thanks for the tip off. It made me install a whole bunch of security shit. So, now that's not going to happen for sure. And they recently stopped because they have to know that I know, because now when they try all that stuff, they're automatically blocked from accessing the site for 6 months. So if you're like, let's see, what's the name of her character? Is it Bettany? Bettany? Oh, and then they get a page. It's all like, you are blocked for 6 months. So they've stopped trying, as far as I can tell. I'm onto you, in other words. And also, you fucking suck. You're so fucking
No.
lame. Anyway,
I'm
what?
not going back to the slammer.
But yeah, that's my statement.
Hobby Lobby couldn't catch me, and you won't either.
You fucking suck. You're super fucking lame. You cannot defeat me. It's obvious because you've tried. And it's not happening for you. It's not happening, baby. It's not happening. Find something else.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Shit. Damn.
But yeah, if anyone here is interested in security, maybe.
And you know what? You don't get to pet my rats. How's that?
But yeah,
you won't get to stroke a silky smooth naked boy.
Matt is in my chat and is telling me to tell you that you are getting told the usernames they're attempting, not the passwords they're attempting.
Oh, okay.
But it's the point. The point remains that yes, they're trying a bunch of stuff that yes, they knew you. So
and they were explicitly trying comic character names and names of my husband, names of people I work with, names of my pets. So it's just one of those things. Anyway,
I have a question. Do you name your electronics?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My phone is named the Bright Brick.
How appropriate.
I name all my electronics after characters.
We also name our internet connection because
my computer is called the Amanda Box.
Yeah. My machine is called Triceratops.
I miss my old Kia Soul that I miss very much. Whoever's driving it now better take care of it. That was called the Juice Box.
No. Yeah.
Anyway, so a lot of people have realized, because they have seen my phone on a network now, is that my phone's name is Jordan, which is the name of Connor's husband in The City Between. My computer's name is Danny, after Danny from Sorcery 101. Like, all my electronics are named after my characters. My Roomba is named after Jeff, the werewolf in The Better to Find You With. So I get little messages. I turn my Roomba on when I go running outside my apartment, so I'll get messages while running that's like, Jeff has finished his job.
Yeah. We don't have really clever names. We have for some reason we've decided all the machines
temporarily while I had a hotspot, I called it Antifa Recruiter.
See, that's incredibly funny because I was getting to that, Amanda. Our house, the machines are not clever. They all have dinosaur names. And we use that because my husband and I enjoy dinosaurs. We are average dinosaur enjoyers. And mine is Triceratops because that's my favorite one. I'm basic that way. However, our internet connection, I believe, and Matt, if you are still in Kel's chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I believe our internet connection in all caps is 1 million dead cops, LOL.
Good.
Yeah, briefly when I had a hotspot, I just called it the Antifa Recruitment Center. So I couldn't put all those words, so it was the Antifa Recruit.
Yeah.
My internet is called Swearwolves.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, and I think I see my husband's machine, or this might be the television on our connection named
I wonder if that's the
Telephone.
reason that my two of my neighbors got real aggro with their Trump flags. Like they were flying really rude Trump flags.
Oh, I'll bet. What was it like? Let's go, Brandon.
Oh
Dig.
no, it was
Fuck Joe Biden. Dig.
no, it was fuck you. I voted for Trump. It was basically a 5-foot flag that waved over the community mailbox.
That is so butthurt.
And I was just like, children play here, sir.
I know, right?
I beg your pardon.
No,
I'm now I'm morbidly curious, and I'm gonna check what my neighbors' internets are called. Give me a moment.
Yeah, the
Uh,
one clever one, the one clever one we have, and I'm looking at it right now, is it hurts when I pee.
I got one that's bed creatures. Broke college kid.
Oh,
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss is another
oh,
neighbor.
that's a great one. That's an amazing one.
Another one is not safe for work.
I'm still sad. I'm still sad that the original Eat Cheese and Sin sticker is sold out still.
Oh.
Obviously, one of my neighbors is a fan of Legend of Korra because theirs is Republic City.
Okay.
And then Netflix and 3. Fruity Pebbles, Dr. Brunch, Crake Eat Home, Demon Monkey. There's some good internet things. Oh, MLM is on here.
Mine is still Beth.
New England Clam Chowder.
Right now, I want to look at my neighbors.
New England Clam Router. That's
okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, now I gotta look at my neighbors. Great, they're probably sucky, but still.
You should definitely change yours to 1 million dead cops and a little.
I can't. I don't control it anymore. That was just when I had a hotspot.
Okay. Oh, that'll make your neighbors go completely off the deep end if you do that. I bet.
Oh.
Which is wild because guess what?
The only nearby network to me is a printer.
Grandma Spike remembers when y'all didn't like cops either, but all of a sudden you do now. So okay.
Oh wow. Okay, never mind. It just propagated. Most of my neighbors just have Xfinity and Xfinity Wi-Fi and Xfinity.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yes. Spike, I live in the suburbs.
Amanda is currently Amanda's in the suburbs. These are probably
not just the suburbs of Clute, Texas.
Yeah.
So this is probably all people Amanda's mom's age that don't know how to change the name of their internet.
Yeah. Although Amanda, I did think of you recently. Do you want to know why?
Do I want to know why?
I have been watching, just powering through all of a Adult Swim show called Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that. Yeah, rats off to you.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, for folks who aren't aware, because it's an oldish show.
Oh yeah, that was one of the shows I used to watch when I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, Tom Goes to the Mayor is a Tim and Eric show that used to air on Adult Swim, and it personifies. It's the epitome of the shittiest suburbs imaginable. It's like where I would go if I died and went to hell. I would end up in the suburb of Jefferton. And that's the name of the town. It's called Jefferton. And it's like this endless morass of strip malls and ranch houses and shitty little people hoarding shitty little nuggets of power and influence in a shitty little town no one really wants to be in. And the whole premise of Tom Goes to the Mayor is Tom, who is like the biggest fucking loser you can imagine, shows up in the mayor's office, and he can just walk right in because this is a shitty town no one cares about, and the mayor's office is in a fucking strip mall, and he goes in and he proposes something stupid and absurd that inevitably fucks up. And the mayor is an idiot, but he is always the mayor because no one cares enough to do anything about it. And that's what Tom Goes to the Mayor is about. It's extremely funny, I should note. It's not like noir or dark or dark.
Oh yeah, no, it's very funny.
It's extremely funny and extremely stupid, but the humor is all based on the fact everyone's really fucking stupid and the town is hell. And like that is, but it's like the kind of hell where the show opens perfectly for what it is, which the
See,
town has
I
that
thought you were like,
soundtrack.
oh yeah, I thought of you because of Rats Off to you. But it was like, no, I
Yeah.
thought of you because of Suburban Hell.
Yeah, suburban hellscape. The show opens with the theme song of the town, and it's the most depressing fucking bullshit song because it just starts off like, "Jefferton alive!" And it shows, like, all the things that are due to Jefferton, and there's nothing to do in Jefferton. What there is to do in Jefferton is to shop and to eat, and that's where
Yeah,
I fucking grew up. That's it. That's all you do, and it sucks so bad.
yeah.
Uh, between
Spike, did
me
you see
and
my photos of the Trump truck, the fascism truck?
how many fashion I've seen many photos of Trump trucks.
No. I'm sorry. We have there's a lot of people with Trump trucks. This is like a food truck that sells Trump shirts.
Oh, that is
It
so
is the
pathetic.
fascism truck. Let me go find it.
No
It is a
offense,
separate
Texas.
entity from the fascism pizza truck.
Yeah, no offense, Texas, but you know you're Texas, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like I learned
Here.
recently that in Texas, in the Pledge of Allegiance, you also pledge allegiance to Texas.
Yeah.
Texas, are you fucking okay?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, independent, with liberty and justice for all. That's it. That's what we did in
Ugh.
school.
It's like
And we did it like, and of course nobody liked doing it. Like people say, oh, kids these days they're not like. No, we sat there. You stood up, you put your hand on your chest, and you droned. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
no
States of
offense, but
America
y'all are
and to
like
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then you sat down, and usually one kid jokingly said, "Amen."
and no offense to anyone here who like resides in the state of
Yeah, you
Texas.
better not.
Y'all are like the New York of states, meaning that you think you are a way bigger deal than you actually are.
Yeah, no, that's Texas for you. Again, the "Don't Mess with Texas" slogan was our anti-littering slogan, and that just kind of
Yeah.
became its
Yeah.
own thing. But yeah, that's again, remember, Spike, the nearest bookstore is a 40-minute drive away. I just posted
Oh,
the
wow.
fascism truck. We have
Like,
that.
maybe you could talk better and more shit if you could keep the lights on when it snowed. Oh my god, what is this? Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
I mean, our
Oh
electric
my
grid is
god.
based on like gambling. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It's based off like gambling.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
all
no.
weird shareholding shit, but it's really just gambling. People
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's all it is. I don't know how else
like
to explain it.
it's just no offense, but from like the view from other states is harrowing. I'm not going to get into it because no one fucking signs on to hear my opinion on each individual state. But the view from other
Yeah,
states, I
I am
assure
trying
you.
to claw. Yeah, there's a reason I'm trying to claw my way out and sweating.
You know what? I was also thinking of you today, Amanda,
Oh,
because Cook County. It's a shame you're not already here. Like, you won't be able to qualify, but Cook County just launched a pilot program for universal basic income.
oh, neato.
Yeah, and so they're gonna give people between $500 and $1,500. 3,000 people, I think, are going to be selected by lottery, and they're
Oh,
going to get
neato.
monthly payments for 2 years, and they will have to like answer surveys every once in a while about if it has improved their life or not.
I don't know. $200 more would probably improve it a little bit.
No, 500 to
No,
1,500.
I was joking about the
Oh.
survey response.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, no,
It's
maybe a few
okay.
more.
But yeah, it's like when I saw that, I was extremely proud of my state
Wonder if
getting
I can
so.
find a photo. I didn't. Every time I see the fascist pizza truck, I forget to take a photo of it because I'm driving.
Uh-huh.
And that's every time I see it. Basically, there's this place in town called All Star Pizza, and the delivery truck is a big truck, and it has full size flags off the tailgate. I like full. I'm scared of this truck because I'm scared that any day now those poles are gonna break off and the flag is gonna hit someone's car and they're gonna die. That's how big these flags are.
This honest to fucking God, what are these people gonna do if/when Trump gets indicted? They're gonna all just go insane.
I mean, they've already gone insane. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they stormed the White House. They're already pretty insane.
Although I have to say I am super enjoying what's happening to the people that did that. I am super enjoying hearing them in front of the judge go, "Well, you see, Your Honor," playing with their hats. I was like, "Yeah, okay, honey." And then they all get sentenced to prison. That's great. But as a
Uh,
contrast,
Oh my
Amanda, we
god, they make the fascist pizza truck part of their, like, they have illustrations of it! They love this truck! Sorry, I'm
as
looking at
part
their Facebook page.
as part of sort of another contrast with where I live, there was, past tense, a deli in Chicago that was like a Cubano style deli called Nini's Deli, Nini. And Nini's Deli was a beloved local spot because it was authentic and it was tasty. And then the owner, a few years ago, when, all the fascists were coming out of the closet, decided to go completely fucking insane. And one of the elements of this whole going insane thing was I was bisexual in college, but Jesus made it all better. If you give him a chance, he will help you. Yeah. So,
All right,
and
Spike, I'm posting the picture. This is the delivery vehicle for this pizza shop. Now, they took a tasteful photo. They took some of their flags down for this photo. Imagine two more flags. One is the
uh-huh.
"Don't Tread on Me," and the other says Trump 2024.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm just saying,
But
imagine that on the tail of this truck, the
oh,
same
I can
size
imagine
as
it
the
very
American
easily.
flag, and that is the truck that delivers the pizza for this place.
Yeah.
That is their
But
official delivery truck.
Mimi's Deli attempted to, like, when I say we're talking about like owner out in front with a bullhorn and a speaker screaming about how everyone is going to hell if they're a girl who likes girls or a boy who likes boys, and just a bunch of crazy horse shit. And Chicago did not stand for it. And they fucking, oh my god, the size of the protest in front of Nini's Deli in like 2020, it was like, "Rah!" And now recently they could
Hi,
not
Abby.
survive. They have shut down. And just everyone I know who has anything to say about it is all like, that's right, fuck off. Fuck off with that shit. I don't want your fucking sandwich after that bullshit. You're not in fucking, the deep south. You're not in Texas. You're not in Florida. Fuck off with that. And everyone's really happy Nini's is gone. And that's part of the reason I'm super glad I live here.
I
I don't
know.
have
That's why I'm trying to move there.
um,
Spike, Kel can
there,
attest. I have made some very nice documents.
Yay.
yeah. Portland has an interesting law that is that you have to keep old historical signs up. So
yeah.
that's why when you walk around Portland,
Like the
you'll
big,
see
what is
like
it, like fiberglass bread?
yeah, so there's basically there's a hotel near where I live, and they have to keep up the sign from the 70s that says all color TVs. Um
Oh,
and
that's cute.
so there's all these very charming old timey signs everywhere. Like there's also there's a gym near my house that clearly used to be a pharmacy, so they have like an old school sign that says pharmacy and advertises all the drugs you can get there. And Portland has only let one building owner, as far as there's only been one exception to this rule.
Mm-hmm.
In the 20s, there used to be a Buddhist bakery. So they had a nice sign with a Buddhist symbol that at the time was not a problem. And then World War II happened. And for obvious reasons, that symbol's not okay anymore.
Yeah.
So the new owners of the building were like, can we please paint over this sign? And it's like, yes, okay, that one can get painted over.
I should note too that Nini's Deli, part of the reason I posted a screenshot.
I was looking at it.
I posted a screenshot of their Instagram. So if you think they were subtle about it and people dug up that they felt this way and then decided to persecute them for it, fucking no, that's not how it was.
I believed you.
Yeah,
No.
but Another thing that got them in deep shit, which really matters to the people it matters to, and you really shouldn't be fucking lying about, is they advertised the meat they used in their sandwiches as halal, and it
Oh.
fucking wasn't. It
Yeah.
fucking wasn't. And their whole like thing is they don't give a shit about any religion but theirs anyway, so they like didn't care and refused to apologize. And they just told people
I'm
non-halal meat
I'm
was halal.
I'm surprised they like even advertised that it was halal, like
Well,
even
but
as a lie. Because the fact that like the level
There's the
that
giant
like at
bread
least
that I love
just
so much. Sorry, I looked up the giant bread that I love so much in Portland.
it's just like advertising it as halal like implies an awareness that I would not assume they had.
yeah. Yeah, they're fucking terrible people. They're terrible people, and I'm
Yeah.
really glad they're finally out of business. It took a little under 2 years, but they're fucking gone and good fucking bye.
Okay, I'll copy this to the regular chat, but then I will also link the chat to the image because I love the giant bread. Here you go. This is the giant bread that I used to see a lot when I lived in Portland, and I miss it. I miss the giant
Oh,
bread.
yeah.
Let's see the giant bread.
The Franz loaf, you're correct. I love the giant bread.
Oh,
See,
it is a bread.
that's
Look
not
at
even
that.
that's not even an old sign. That factory still makes bread. I
Oh, I
smell
know.
it frequently
I just
on
love-
weekend mornings.
I
Yeah.
know. I just love
Yeah.
the giant bread.
Yeah, it's cool.
They
I was-
make good bread. That's where I get my bread.
Yeah, I'm not really I don't want to be that bitch, but I'm not
Do
really
you?
doing
Do you not want to be that bitch?
I'm not really doing bread right now, which is kind of ironic because one of the things I love my neighborhood. My neighborhood slaps. It's the best thing ever. Both Kel and Amanda, I think, have been in my
Yes.
house. Yeah, and they can attest. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood.
Yes.
But the one thing I always wanted for years on end is I wish a bakery would show up. I would love a dedicated bakery in walking distance. The closest thing I had is every once in a while you could go down to the Jewel and you could pick up, some artisan loaf that they had wrapped on out front. And that's okay, but not really what I wanted. And now across the fucking street, there's a place that sells delivered fresh every morning bread. And I'm not eating bread. Hi, H Bomber Guy. H Bomber Guy is asking, does bread make you sleepy? No, it's just things are happening to my guts now that I'm middle aged. And hey, it'll happen to you too. It'll happen to you too.
Bullshit.
And I find when I eat a lot of refined carbs, I get gut pain, and it doesn't do me any favors. And I have also been doing therapeutic fasting type stuff for the past year or so. Like every once in a while, I'll just go on a multi-day fast, and the gut pain goes away. But if I break my fast with something like a sandwich with white bread or white rice or noodles, like refined wheat flour noodles, the gut pain will come right back. So it's clear what's
See,
making
my thing is, I eat things that give me gut pain. I just don't stop.
Yeah.
What? I have the Taco Bell app.
Yeah. So
I don't care what Taco Bell does to my guts. I eat it.
So these days when I have like rice bowls instead of rice, it's cauliflower. So and when I have bread, I actually opt for like the keto bread because it tends to be low carb and high protein, which I can deal with way
You know
better.
what? Cauliflower pizza is actually extremely good.
Oh, you know what okay, here's something people are gonna be like, this is fucked up, I'm leaving. But here's something I do right now. It's fucking baller. It's the best thing ever. I'm so glad I found this recipe. There is this keto recipe.
Yeah,
people
the
use.
Mexican pizza's back.
It's called Mitza pizza. Okay. And here's what you're going to do. It's the easiest fucking thing. It's actually literally easier than making your own pizza dough. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the store and you're going to find these cans of white chunk chicken, just canned chicken, like a 10 or 12 ounce can. You're going to take that. You're going to take it home. And I've made it so often.
This already.
I fucking memorized it.
All
I've
right.
made this stuff that I've ever. Let me just do this.
Wait, is this the meat crust?
Yeah.
I hate the meat crust. I hate it.
It's so fucking good.
I hate the meat crust.
You take this 10 to 12 ounce white chunk chicken in water. You take it, you dump it out of the can, you drain it as well as you can, you spread it out on like a baking sheet. The oven is at 350. You stick it in the oven for like 10 minutes, not that long, just so it dries out a little. Take it out, goes in the bowl. In the bowl with the chicken, 1 egg and half a cup of, I don't know, whatever cheese you got. Parmesan is good. Parmesan's usually like, so like the shitty kind of Parmesan is good, like the kind you sprinkle out of a can. Perfect. And I like to add some cayenne pepper. I like to add some Italian seasoning. I like to add some garlic and onion powder. Mix all that shit up with the egg, and the chicken. Mix it all up. Flat until it's pizza crust shaped. Back in the and you just like bake that down. You bake that back like another 10 minutes in the oven, but now it's at 500. So you take it out. It should be a little brown and it should be holding together. On goes the sauce, on goes the cheese, on goes the topping, back in for 5 minutes at 500, take it back out. Best fucking pizza ever. Literally 0 carbs.
No, she is
Literally,
lying to you.
literally 0
No,
carbs.
I did
have
that
it
once. It
all
was
the time.
awful. I hate it.
I have
It's
it
like
all
I don't
the time.
I
It's
don't
so
like
good.
it. It's canned meats. It tastes like canned meat, but like as a disc of canned
Are you
meat.
adding seasonings?
Yes. Here's the thing. I don't like canned meat, and I don't really like chicken.
Oh,
So
well,
like
that'll do
this
it.
was an extremely unpleasant. Like I was just like, oh, every bite has chicken. Every bite.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. And straight up, when I'm like, I feel like
No,
pizza. I
I
would make
think
that and it's just like,
cauliflower crust pizza is
Mhm.
actually better than regular crust pizza.
I'm agnostic about cauliflower crust pizza. I'll eat it if it's there. What I can't do
I
is if I sit there and like, let's pretend, because it's not like I eat 0
uh,
carbs now. I like every once in a while I'll have
I
like
hate this conversation.
I'm sorry. This is like what happens when you get old. Your guts start doing weird shit they never did
No,
before.
Spike,
Mm.
I have negative
Kel can't
interest
eat
in
Kel,
cooking.
Kel can't even eat
Oh.
spice.
Oh, right, that's
Like
right. Oh my
I
god, you
I
hate
have
spice.
negative interest in cooking. Like this isn't about your guts. This is just like
Wait. I have to endure how much RimWorld talk? How much?
Listen, I'm just saying I have sat through multiple foodie conversations because you also went off on a long food tangent when talking to Ryan Estrada a couple of weeks ago. Like,
I'm gonna go to the record. I'm gonna look up every time RimWorld was discussed. And I was just sitting here sculpting tiny worms.
No, I like food. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Food is fun. Food is tasty.
Food is fine.
Also, Kel, you'd fucking hate my cooking because I have a bottle of Tabasco sauce just like on the table now, and it goes on like
I
every
mean, that would just kill me.
Yeah.
That would.
It's not a
that
matter of
wouldn't-
like
it
preference.
wouldn't-
It's a matter of
It's
like
not a matter of hatred. I would die.
Yeah.
That's
Kel would just like poop themselves to
That's-
death. The
Oh
end.
my god.
no. It's I would like feel I would have chest pains and
Yeah.
I would die.
Tabasco's
like-
so tasty. I love Tabasco.
It's basically
Amanda,
it's
the court
nightshade plants.
stenographer, yeah.
Also, double
It's nightshade plants that I have a problem with. So that is basically
Matt, what do you mean you know
red
what
peppers.
those worms are for?
there is a red.
Oh, wait,
pepper-
never mind. I know.
There's
They're
a
for
red
pleasure. I
pepper
forgot.
and green thing that is like in Chinese cookery. Use it to make mapo tofu, and it is so fucking spicy and so fucking good. Oh my god, it's so good. I'll just.
So yeah, so the problem is not the spice. The problem is that it
The
would
reaction
kill me.
to the spice.
Yeah.
Kind of like how I
That's
love
fine.
lobster
And
and I
it's-
can't eat
It's
it.
not even. It's not even spice. It is like the acidity of nightshade plants. Because tomatoes has set it off occasionally. So it is not a spice thing. It is specifically that breed of plant.
Yeah, as you get
Um,
older, like folks in their 20s could never, but as you get older, your
wins.
body just starts being very weird in its own unique way.
I mean,
My body's been weird forever, Spike.
Spike, this has been a thing that I have had since high school. So this is not a
Oh.
getting older thing. This is it was I dated a guy through most I dated an Indian guy in most of high school, and his mom made a lovely home cooked meal that almost killed me. So,
Yeah, the two things right now that fuck me absolutely are I have to be really, really careful about my energy drink consumption. I can have one every once in a while, But if I just start fucking mainlining that shit, I will literally be paralyzed on the couch in agony. So I have to be careful with that. I get one, I build up my courage and I have one maybe every couple weeks, but that's it.
Oh, I'm completely fucked up. I can drink a Red Bull and go to sleep.
For now.
No,
I was like that in my 30s too.
No, I mean like they don't work.
Oh, well, it's not so
They've
much
never
as
worked.
it's not
But
so
they
much
work
as don't
just
work
enough.
as you're acclimated. You're like
Yeah.
like people who drink a cup of coffee every morning too
Well,
would
no, I
report
don't
like they
drink
don't
them
get
that
a buzz.
often anymore. I just if I
My-
want to sleep,
Yeah.
I will fucking sleep. There's nothing
But
you can do
me
about
and
it.
the
My,
refined carbs and the energy drinks are right now what I'm dealing with, and I dread it getting worse than that.
So, my getting older tummy problems is if I go too long without eating, I get acid reflux.
Matt gets that
So
too.
I have to eat something every couple of hours, or I'll start to like taste vomit in the back of my mouth.
Matt actually
Yum.
refers to that as he gets Sims hungry because he remembers back when I was playing other versions of The Sims. I don't know if this still happens in Sims 4, but there would be an occasional super frustrating thing that would happen in The Sims, which is you'd see your Sim was hungry, you would instruct your Sim to eat. They would go over, they would pick up the food, and on their way to the table to sit down and have the meal, they would instead put the food down to complain about how hungry they were. So he calls it Sims hungry when he gets hungry enough that he doesn't eat. Like he'll get so hungry, his stomach will hurt and he will feel weak and dizzy. And so he
See,
can't
this
eat
isn't
because he's
even I'm hungry thing. This is like just you got to put something in there, even if it's
It sounds
water.
like you have something that you need to get looked at.
Oh, he's always been that
Not
way.
no, Kel.
Okay.
No, no, I have had it looked at, and
Okay.
they're like, it's just acid reflux,
Yeah.
and that happens to some people.
Yeah.
Like, they drink
Yeah.
water. Here's some pills if it gets
Yeah.
really bad. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Once you get older, when you go to the doctor and you complain about certain things, they're just gonna be like, "Yeah, that's gonna happen."
Yeah.
I've been on the other end of that where I was like, yeah, I wake up these days and I just have like hard ass nuggets of snot in the back of my nose and throat, and I have to like cough 4 or 5 times every morning, and I
Oh yeah, well I was
dislodge
playing
like this.
D&D the other day. A chunk of my tooth fell out.
Oh dear. Well, that's not what I'm talking about. But
Is it not?
I'll chop. Like,
yeah,
I'll cough out like an
Spike.
earthworm-sized thing of snot, and the doctor was just like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, you're at that age
That's
where
called a
you're gonna."
That's
Postnasal
called a
drip.
postnasal drip.
Yeah, and
Yep.
you're just gonna
And
you have allergies. Did your parents develop allergies at this age? I was like, no, but my mom did have really bad allergies.
Matt
and-
wants you to know that you don't know him at all.
I know you very well. I love you, Matthew.
Apparently you're not demonstrating that knowledge very well.
I know all the terrible secrets of Matthew.
Don't tell them now. I don't want to. Don't. I'm here. I'm here not just as a co-host, but to protect Matt's dignity live.
Matt killed a man in
Yeah.
Vegas just to watch him die.
Oh.
no, that was Johnny Cash.
That's what he tells you.
I sent you all some pages that I've been working on this week.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's see what we got here.
Nice
Amanda,
action.
you should do something about your tooth.
I'm getting them pulled. I just have to get them pulled. That's all. It's just until then.
It'll take like 5 minutes.
I know that.
So what you putting them off for?
I didn't have money until very recently.
Oh, okay.
Like
These
they
are-
cost money.
The dentist costs money, Spike.
That you could go to dental schools. Dental students will do it for free.
Spike? Do you remember where I live?
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
Like Spike? I have to occasionally lean close to you.
Yeah, you're include. I forget. See, there are things that happen when you live in massive metropolitan centers, and you forget what it's like to not live there after 20 or so years.
In fact, I'm gonna look up. Nope.
No dental schools. No dental schools.
The closest one is the Greatwood Dental Assisting. No, I don't think that's that. No, it is a dental school. In Sugarland, but I'm never going back to Sugarland.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's where
uh,
the part of my family that I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
lives. And if I ever saw them on the street, I'd just die on the spot.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. There are plenty of places I will never go back to because I'm fairly sure
Sugarland
family.
and Rosenberg are dead to me.
Yeah. I
So
have
I
to
do
admit,
want to
okay,
go back to the First Colony Mall, and I don't know why.
I know that feeling. I get it. Like when you're a child of the suburbs, I think y'all qualify as children of the suburbs.
I'm an
And
adult.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
well, what I mean is your
I know
childhood
I'm
was
playing. I'm playing.
yeah. But there I don't know what the suburbs are like now, but when I was a kid,
My
there was one thing to do, which is again
they're
bringing it back to
still
Jefferson.
that way.
Yeah, bringing
Yeah,
it back to
they're still
Jefferson,
that way.
the
Yeah.
only thing to do is shop. And so
No, the only
I was
person in these suburbs that is truly free is the little boy who rides up and down the sidewalks on an office chair. He's the only one who is truly free. And recently, he acquired
uh-huh.
2 hoverboards. So now he goes up and down the sidewalks with his front hands on this hoverboard and his knees on the other hoverboard, and that's how he gets around. And he is the only human who's truly free.
Yeah, in where I grew up, there was malls. That's it. That's all you did. You did malls. Now,
Yeah. Same.
9 times out of 10, you would go to Montgomery Mall. There was also White Flint Mall, and there was Cabin John Mall. White Flint Mall, if you've ever done SPX, that's the mall that got torn down a few years ago. And people made a big deal about, holy shit, they're tearing down White Flint Mall. So that's the 3 major malls. Now, if you wanted to do something a little special, you could go out to Tyson's Corner or Tyson's 2. Those are 2
Sounds
big
like a
malls
place
in
you'd go to
Houston.
get drugs.
Yeah, so those are
Tyson's
5.
Corner.
Tyson's Corner wasn't a common thing because actually it's incredibly ritzy,
I mean, to
and
be fair, the
Tyson's
mall was where you went. Does
and
make
Tyson's
sense.
2 was
Yeah.
ritzy-er, and this was literally all there was to
So
do.
that's where you got the good drugs. And then the
That's
other mall is where you got the cheap drugs.
Yeah.
this is all you did in where I grew up in Montgomery County. It's literally why I know how to
Meet
draw.
me in the Dillards next to the Comforters.
Because if you didn't feel like going to the mall, you were literally out of options. That's it. And going to the mall in
Yeah.
and of
We
itself
had
was a fucking
Discovery
trial.
Zone
It was a 20
and
to
laser
40-minute
tag.
drive. So it's not like you could go outside and walk down the side. Like my husband is under the mistaken impression that this is relatable content because where he grew up was also the suburbs, and also his primary outlet for entertainment was a mall. No, sweetie, you
Yeah.
could walk to the mall. Totally different experience.
Well, I'm where I grew up is more like you. We did have to drive to the mall. If we wanted to go someplace that was not the mall, we had to drive to the parking lot connected to the furthest public transit station from Boston. So we could technically take like the T into Boston, but we would need to drive like 20 minutes to get to the public transit stop.
Yeah, basically every neighborhood I grew up in as a teenager, and because we moved so much, I got to experience many neighborhoods. It was all the same shit. Like if you did not have a friend with a car, you just drank on the kids' playground.
Yeah, you were fucked. You were just fucked. There was just nothing. And I
Um,
don't miss the
yeah.
suburbs at fucking
Like
all.
right before the sunset, kids would be playing like pretending the big wooden fort thing was a
I
spaceship.
don't know if
Then
I
the sunset
told you
and
this,
the teenagers
Spike.
drank up there.
Spike, I don't know if I told you this, but someone got on my case about Stars Hide Your Fire
Oh yeah,
because
you
the
did
back
tell
of
me
the
about
book
this.
copy calls the town it takes place in a dead-end Massachusetts town. And they like clearly moved to my hometown right after I left because they were like, what are you talking about that it's a dead-end town? There's so much going on. Like, and the thing is like all this guy's arguments are like, I've heard these arguments before because they're arguments my mom makes. All the cool things you can do in Waltham, like there's this cool bar and this cool bar and this cool bar. And I'm like, and if you're a teenager who does not have a driver's license, never mind a fake ID, why are those bars appealing?
Yeah, exactly. Where people mistake the one, like, again, I sat there and I just listed 5 malls, and people are like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that feels like a lot to do." No, 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 if you don't feel like fucking shopping, if you don't have any money, if you don't have a car to get to those places, there's nothing. There's fucking nothing.
Yeah, but this is the thing is like specifically the fact that the guy was talking about bars being the cool thing. It's like that does not help a
Mhm.
teenager with no car.
Yeah.
Like, um, or at least most
There is
teenagers,
a
because
circus right
it
now
is
in the mall parking lot.
um so
Oh.
It's a
it's
single
basically
little
like,
tent.
yeah, so the guy was like, he mentioned bars and then he mentioned an Indian grocery store. And it's like, okay, the Indian grocery store is cool if you like cooking. Um, but again, if you are a teenager who does not have a car or money or disposable income,
Mhm.
like, why is the Indian grocery store like a cool place to hang out? Like,
Yeah,
that's
because you have no
cool if,
options.
yeah,
Like,
but Jo but Jose drew it well enough that this guy recognized that it was Waltham, even though we do not say that it is Waltham.
that's pretty
So, like,
cool.
kudos to Jose for drawing
Yeah.
all of my reference photo stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But, I d like, there was this, I don't know if either of you have ever been told any of this, but there was a sort of line of reasoning when I was young, when I was in my 20s and I moved to Chicago, there was a line of reasoning I heard a lot from older people, from, like, the boomer generation, which is, "You're in the city now, you're gonna have your fun, you're gonna have your youth, and then one day you will grow up and you will turn into an adult and you will marry, and you will be entirely sick of the city, and you will move out to the suburbs like the rest of us grown-ups, and then your life as an adult will begin."
No, no one
And
ever told me that.
so, uh, the thing that, see, people didn't say that, but it was more like, "Oh, when you have kids, you'll wanna leave the city."
yeah.
Um And I guess if your kid is entirely dependent on driving and they don't have a car, moving to the suburbs is a great way to control what they do. So maybe that's the basis of the appeal. But
Well, they also
yeah,
grew up
no,
in a very different time, so,
yeah.
houses were much more attainable for boomers, and
I'm
Hmm.
gonna
I
be
like,
honest, like, adults didn't really talk to me like that because,
oh,
I mean, they just didn't.
hmm,
Like, I didn't even
They
get to
didn't.
talk.
interesting.
Basically, when I was 13, my mom, like, came in a room and says, I just want you to know if you ever need condoms, if you ever need birth control, you can come to me. And then she's like, okay. And I went, okay. And then she left, and I was like, I was deeply offended that she thought I was having sex. I was so
Oh,
deeply, I was like, I cannot believe she thinks I'm that kind of person. How dare
oh.
she? It was very dumb. It was very dumb of me.
Amanda, this wasn't a conversation that they were having to me while I was a child. It was when I was like in college
No, I'm
and
just
Oh,
talking
like,
about the
wow.
yeah,
level of, no, I'm just explaining, like, the level of adults just not talking to me about stuff.
yeah.
It was just, you're 13, condoms exist, goodbye.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
how
I think
dare
I've
you? I'm not
I think I've
improper.
mentioned this multiple times before, but I got the talk in the single digits. So, I got the talk from my father, who is a doctor, and what
Hmm.
I don't recall any of this. So this was all told to me by people who were there at the time. But I asked, and my dad sat me down and he got out his med school textbooks, and using the proper words and the proper terminology for everything, he showed me with visual aids where babies come from insemination all the way up to birth. And then he closed the book and he said, "Do you have any questions?" And I went, "No." And I got up and I left. And apparently that was the talk. That's how I got the talk. And again, I don't recall this happening, but my memory goes as far back as when I was 5, and I also don't recall ever not knowing where babies come from.
Uh, I that is more effort than my mom put into the talk. My mom is a nurse and she just handed me the medical textbooks and said, "This will answer your questions. There are pictures." It was to her credit, a book that was designed to explain sex to someone that age, but it was like, here's an anatomy drawing and like here's how everything works. But it was, she did not talk to me about it. It was, here's a book. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, so
My
I mean, it
relationship,
worked.
it's really, especially when I talk to my extended family, it's very obvious. My mom was a self-admitted problem child, and she completely expected me to follow in her footsteps. But I was like a quiet little nerd who, like, the idea of breaking rules made me go, I would never. So like
Mhm.
a lot of our relationship and talks and stuff growing up was a lot of her going like you're not gonna go out drinking with your friends, are you? It's like, what? Why would I do that?
Uh,
Never.
my mom was called a thug by the neighbor when she was a child.
Uh-huh.
And she was not allowed to hang
Sorry,
out
that was
with the neighbor's
loud.
daughter. I remember my mom telling me the story about the neighbor calling her a thug. And she told me this in the fact that apparently this happened in front of my grandma, and so my mom was upset slash offended that my grandma did not stick up for her and be like, don't you dare call my daughter a thug. But it was like,
Oh,
I don't know, mom, were you doing things that were thuggish?
Were you
yeah.
being a thug, mother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a huge, like, I was not cool, like, straight up just not
Yeah.
cool in high
I
school,
mean,
and I
No high
was
schooler
we're
is
all in
cool.
comics. Yeah,
yeah,
we're all in comics. So none of us were
yeah,
cool in
and
high
I
school.
remember a big part of, like, the indication, the first sort of inkling of how my parents regarded me. I had a friend who had parents who both smoked like chimneys, just lighting
Hmm.
one cigarette with the other, straight up textbook definition chain smokers. And I would go to their house to, play with my friend. I would hang out and have sleepovers and we'd watch movies and we play video games and we do whatever. And I would come home reeking of cigarette smoke. And it was in my hair, it was in my jacket, it was in my clothes, it was in my nightgown, it was in everything. And my mom just casually mentioned at some point, it never occurred to her even once that I smoked. She's like,
Hmm.
she smelled me and she was just like, yeah, the parents must smoke. And, later on, obviously got confirmation when she walked into that house and was like, it hit you like a wall. She was like, oh, okay. But yeah, she just said, yeah, you came home, you smelled like an ashtray, but I never thought for a second you were smoking. It's like, okay.
Um, yeah.
My grandma
My mom
loves
was.
to tell the story. Every time my mom will like occasionally talk about like, "Oh, my children are difficult," even though all her kids are. My children
Hmm.
are so difficult. My grandma will be like, "Didn't you and your friends drink all of our special alcohol and replace it with water when you were 15?" And my mom's like,
Uh,
"Yeah."
I had multiple aunts and uncles tell me that I was my grandma's favorite grandchild
Hmm.
because my mom was such a problem,
Oh.
and I was
You're the
going to be
redemption arc.
revenge. Yeah, no,
Oh,
I was
that's
going to be
why.
revenge against. I was going to be a problem for my mom. So that's vengeance. And I was like, okay,
I'm gonna be.
whatever.
Hey, I'm gonna be right back. Somebody expects baby food right now.
Okay. Beck H.
Uh,
I was the only one who wasn't pregnant or did not impregnate someone before the age of 20. The high school that I grew up in, Beck H, was very interesting because we definitely had pregnancies, dot, 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 but no babies.
yeah.
And I find that was very instructive to me. And also it was one of those things where it's like, I wonder how a different high school would handle that because I just pictured a lot of girls being grabbed by their hair and dragged to the family OBGYN. And
Uh,
yeah.
I remember when I was in high school,
Mhm.
like some sort of government statistics about high school. Like I forget how my friends and I found them, but we found them, and our high school had the most. We had the most openly queer kids at our high school,
Mhm.
but we also had the most teen pregnancies.
Oops.
And so we were like, so are we just the horniest high school? Like, because we're like, so even though statistically less kids are straight, like all
I
those straight
returned.
girls are getting knocked up. So my friends and I were like, so do we have statistically the horniest high school like in Massachusetts?
What did I come back to?
My friends and I found like some government statistics on high schools, and our high school had the most openly queer kids, but also the highest pregnancy rate.
Mm.
So my friends and I were theorizing that maybe we were just the horniest high school.
Yeah. Iron Circus. Ooh.
During one of my, because I went to 3 different middle schools, but during one of them, the only friend I had wore a positive pregnancy test as a necklace.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all I could think is every time we hung out, is I was just quietly sitting, go, "You peed on."
The school I went to was very high achieving. And I think I've illustrated this in the past by saying at the football games, like our football team was okay. We got to the championships and then lost the final game. So that kind of sucked. And I was in band, so I had to be there for the whole thing because I was in marching band. But we had this whole thing that when we had home games and the team beat us, the other football team beat us, we were so fucking obnoxious. We had this whole thing where we would just chant higher SATs, higher SATs,
Oh
higher
my
SATs.
god. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to bully all of you right
Yeah,
now.
that's the fucking school I went to, where it's
Oh my
like, yeah, you beat
God.
us at football, but we have the highest SATs in the county, so fuck
Into
you.
the
How about that?
lockers you go, nerds.
Yeah, we would have fucking deserved it too. And also, I think I don't know if I was talking to my husband about this or I was talking to y'all about this, but I mentioned that we had multiple valedictorians whenever
We had
whenever
multiple
graduated.
bomb evacuations.
Same here.
Yay!
But the valedictorians were because, and the thing is, keep in mind,
Unifying experiences.
multiple valedictorians, multiple people in my school had to make perfect 4.0s from the moment they stepped in the door all the way up. Plus, they all had to be taking the maximum allowable amount of college level classes at the local college and also be acing those. So there were multiple kids at every school at my school every year who did that, and there were like 2, 3, sometimes 4, and they all had to either decide amongst themselves who got to give the speech because there's no fucking way we were sitting through 4 speeches, or they did some sort of drawing straws thing. And that was the kind of school I went to. And so contrast that really like kind of high level of expected achievement school and the fact that there were pregnancies, da 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 da, but no babies. I think about those two things a lot, like together. Just like I'm sure one has a lot to do with the other. Like just a lot of parents getting out of their chairs and reaching across the table, going, "Oh no, you fucking don't."
Anyway,
Dark.
my high school was just horny.
Yeah, mine wasn't horny, but we did the thing too where people died a lot.
Wait, I'm sorry. What the phrasing? We did
Yeah.
the thing too, where people died a lot.
Yes. I think I've mentioned this.
No,
in the
I know
past.
what you mean,
Yeah.
but it's the sentence. We did the thing too, where people died a lot.
Like one a year, basically.
Yeah, like one a year. We did the thing too, where people died a lot, like one a year. Why do you word it like that?
Because in retrospect, it was like each of those deaths was weirdly interesting and instructive to me because I've always been like a morbid person.
You make
so.
it sound like the high school arranged this.
Did they?
Oh, Abby Lurkey just asked any interesting deaths. Every single fucking one, Abby. Every single one was interesting. Okay, so the first one.
Okay, can we?
Yeah.
I just want to preface. You know that talking about like this kind of stuff makes me sad. So
this is going to be fascinating to you, I feel.
I guess we'll see.
Okay. All right. So first one I can think of is somebody who collapsed playing tennis with their dad, just like. And I should note, like as students,
This is a high schooler, right? So a child.
A child collapsed playing tennis with their dad, just dead there on the court. There are 2 theories, and of course, we did not get the fucking story. This is all very pre-internet, and we are not family, so they're not going to fucking tell us. One of them was the guy who collapsed, and one is cocaine. Another is undiagnosed heart condition that just took him out like that. So those are the two theories that floated around the school about that one. The second one was a identical twin. Not, I'm sorry, not identical. They were fraternal, but not even fraternal. One was a girl and one was a boy, and they were
That's
both.
still fraternal.
Oh
Oh, is
hell
it?
yeah,
Okay.
fat bear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They were. They
That's
were. Yeah, they were both extremely high achieving people, and
Wait, is it
one
Fat Bear Week right now? Hell
and
yes.
one of them was our valedictorian. Like he was among that group who they graduated, and he got to give the speech because his sister died. And his sister was a ballerina who was the type who came to school with their ballet clothes on, because why change? Because they're gonna go right back and do it later. And she died, and we never got the story on that. But she, in addition to being super high achieving grade wise, super high achieving ballerina wise, and also playing flute, because that's how I knew of her. She was in band with me. She played first chair flute. And I remember that one the best because we just came in one
Oh, it
day,
just ended. Wing.
and what it came she well, we came into class one day, and we sat down, and the teacher was looking harrowed, and the guidance counselor was sitting there, and I had like the most stereotypical guidance counselor you could have in high school, like the ex hippie with like the really long hair,
No, it's still
and
Fat Bear Week.
she she was really just like the stereotypical like guy, like, how are you feeling, guidance counselor. And they told us, okay, everyone, so and so died, her brother is not going to be in class today, if anybody needs to talk about it, my door is open, you can skip class today and come talk to me about it, you can skip class tomorrow and come talk to me about it, so on, so on, so forth. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, that is surreal. Like, people our age aren't supposed to die. And I remember observing that when you die in high school, like, I learned this lesson before I was shown it in pop culture in various movies y'all might be able to remember. When you die in high school, wow, you have so many friends. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, you were not her friend. When there were people like openly sobbing in the hallways because she was dead. And I was all like, yeah, you didn't know her.
That
Like,
doesn't
I
mean
didn't
they
know.
weren't sad.
No, I'm not saying they weren't sad. I'm saying they weren't her fucking friend. It's sad when a teenager dies, but other teenagers going, oh my God, I can't believe they're
They're just
gone.
processing complicated feelings.
Maybe, but I
This
also
is
think
not
it was,
interesting. This, by the way, this is very sad.
I am nine tenths convinced it was for attention. So there was
I'm
that.
sure
Anyway,
there were
so
a
did she
few.
have an eating disorder or did she do a lot of speed?
We don't know.
Then how is that interesting? It's
Okay.
just sad.
And then the other one, I got the fucking cream of the sad crop for you.
Well,
now,
this crop
Amanda.
has been very uninteresting and just sad. So
Yeah,
like,
but I got
Yeah,
I'll do one
like,
more. I just want to do the one more, okay?
okay.
is this the Benny Hill murder?
No, this is the Benny Hill murder was real good.
I don't want to hear the
Uh,
Benny Hill murder. The last time you told me about it, I literally just like sat in bed for a while.
The Benny Hill murder is hilarious.
No,
But this is not the Benny Hill
it
murder.
is not funny. It is so sad.
This is not the Benny Hill murder. This is another murder that made me contemplative, and it made me make a decision. Like, nobody, like, there's never a good time to die, but I decided this was definitely like sort of close to the worst time to die. Where, again, this is one of the valedictorians, one of the multiple valedictorians in my class, and they did not get to give the speech, but they got to be up there and have the sash and all that. And they were very nice. They were on debate team with me. And by the way, you're talking to somebody who was on fucking debate team and chess club, so that's that bitch. And they were very polite and they were interesting, and they were the first person, and keep in mind I'm fucking sheltered, okay? They were the first person that made me realize, oh wow, like ethnically Chinese people can have really curly hair. Because she had extremely curly hair, and I remember thinking that was really interesting. And she drowned.
unlike this story.
Yeah.
She drowned, and she drowned right after graduating college. And it was one of those things where when you go to the beach, everybody, before you get in the water, look at how the waves that roll out do. Because if they make sort of like a cross
Oh, you talking about the
pattern,
riptides?
yup, that's what
Mhm.
got her.
Yeah.
She got riptided at a beach and pulled out and drowned. And it was one
How
of those
is this
things where
interesting and not sad? I
and it's
have
one
to
of those
look
things
away from the computer so I don't shout right into the microphone.
it was one of those things where what happens when you riptide is you're
I
really
know it happens a lot here. I live by the beach, Spike.
it's what you don't realize how far out you are, you know. By the time you look up, you're like, "Oh fuck!" And when you try and
I
swim back
know.
in, you're getting pulled out farther and
Yeah.
farther, farther. So it's not like a drowning machine thing. It's not like
Yeah.
you get caught in a dam or anything. It's just you get pulled farther and farther out, and you just can't make it back.
I
And
mean,
that's
it's
what happened.
more than that.
Amanda, what do you think of the comic pages I posted in chat?
I told you already they were very nice and I like the action.
Yes, they are
Thank
lovely,
you.
Kel. They're lovely, Kel. They're
Thank
very nice.
you.
I'm sure when they're finished, they'll look even better.
I would
Uh,
like to make a note though, while
Oh.
I'm dragging
Yeah.
Spike for being mean to me. When
Mhm.
Spike was making a point to ask what everyone's doing with their comics,
Oh, sorry. We
Spike
just
just
kind of
glossed right
meandered.
over me like the last episode where Spike
Amanda,
glossed over
Amanda,
me.
Amanda.
And then the episode before that where
Sweet,
Spike glossed over me.
lovely. Amanda, sweet, lovely Amanda. What are you doing with
Too
this
late!
No, I want
Too
to know.
late!
We both want to know.
I'm
Kel wants
angry
to know
now.
too. No, don't be angry at us.
I want to know because I literally want to talk about anything else than
I'm
boring
done now.
stories about people dying in Spike's high school.
Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened, Amanda. What are you doing? What's
Nah,
your
it's
week
okay.
been
It's
like?
not that interesting.
No, I want to know your fucking comics.
No,
Fucking
no.
tell me.
I did finish pencils for a new Slipshine comic.
Ah. And
Uh,
isn't working for Slipshine an interesting adventure lately?
well, the ear thing got resolved.
Oh, cool.
But we're
well, good
but we
or
want
bad?
to no, in a good way, but in a
Okay.
maybe to prevent this from being a problem in the future, we should build up a catalog of not elf ears and other things.
Yeah. I don't know who was here and who wasn't here when we first talked about this, but Slipshine has been going through it with their payment processors over the most ridiculous accusations imaginable.
Yeah, basically. Long story short, elf ears.
Yeah.
Technically bestiality. Can't do it.
Yeah.
but
Payment
that's
processors-
been mediated. I don't want to get into the details because I don't think they're really my details to talk about. I'm
Yeah.
coughing.
Yeah, just suffice to say, it's very difficult if you are running a focused porn kind of business, very difficult to get certain payment processors to work with you. And sometimes, depending on who's in charge, it really is all about who's in charge over there.
Yeah.
They make ridiculous demands. And some ridiculous demands are like, you cannot have humanoid creatures with pointed ears engaging in sex acts. That is bestiality. Like that's literally what their rationale. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know
That's-
people who do adult work. I follow a couple, and a couple follow me on Twitter, and I've met a few. And the rigmarole, the hoops they have to jump through are they make me roll my eyes right out of my fucking head. It's absurd.
Yeah.
In the pages that I posted, there is the werewolf boy, the one who has the wet hair in the last page. A detail I am very proud of is he's missing a big chunk of his ear. And that is where he got bit by a werewolf. A werewolf bit part of his ear off. And that's how he became a werewolf.
As one does.
But I always like drawing his ear because it's missing a big chunk of it.
I hope tomorrow I have some time to work on my comic because I haven't worked on it in weeks and I genuinely miss it. And I feel like I only just got to an interesting part. And I left
How
everyone-
long do you think it's going to be when it's done?
I am trying not to think about that. I think 500 pages is a really good guess because I'm pretty sure we've had this discussion, but you'd fucking hate the way I operate, where I just
Oh yeah, no, it's nonsense. Yeah.
I think about it constantly, and I generally have an idea of where it needs to go and what needs to be said every scene and what needs to happen every scene. Like a good example is I will think to myself, okay, in this scene, the gingerbread man needs to leap out of the pan and run out of the house and make it clear with whatever he says that he thinks he is uncatchable. So that's what needs to happen here. And I won't write a script. I'll script on the page and I won't make thumbnails. I'll just pencil on the page, and when I get to that part, I'll figure out how it happens as I go. I do this because it's the only way I can focus and keep myself engaged while I'm doing the long term work of just making a comic. It works for me, except when it doesn't.
Yeah. Um I well so that whole like thinking about it all the time thing, I do that too. Like I said, I have a bunch of city between stories that are like half a story and they're not quite crystallized yet. I have a
Mhm.
big document that's like vague ideas for stories.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then so if you look at like my quote unquote outline for the city between, like usually there's a full outline for the one I'm drawing or writing right now, and maybe like three quarters of an outline for the one after that I'm probably going to end up doing after that. But then the rest are like maybe two or three sentences, or like
Mhm.
here's a vague idea. I need to figure how this works. Um, like I know after the newbie vampire one, I'm gonna do one where the bodyguard werewolf, who's the main character of Fame and Misfortune, the first City Between story. I'm going to go back to her, and she's going to get hired to be the bodyguard for a pop star with robot legs,
Mm.
and kind of going to go into um, how perfectionism as a brand is really hard to live up to and is bad for your mental health. Because part of that story is going to be um, the pop star with robot legs, because she is handicapped. She Part of her whole brand is her presenting herself as like a good role model and strong and perfect and doesn't
Nice.
need anyone.
Yeah.
um and the fact that she needs to hire a bodyguard should tell you that she's in a situation where she does need help.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really want that to publicly get out, so trying to hide that she hired the bodyguard is getting in the way of the bodyguard doing their job properly.
Mhm.
And that is
Okay.
going to be the conflict. But I need to figure out some of the like more nitty gritty details, and also is there anything that I want to like hint at for like pick at to be like a seed for a story that will happen later in the series. But yeah.
I have oh god, I'm sure I've actually shown this to y'all at some point years and years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if we've forgotten though, it's so long ago. There was an idea, a seed, a tiny itsy bitsy like seed of a story idea that I have kept around for a decade plus and just kind of bat at lazily like a cat with a
Mhm.
toy, but I've never actually sat down and figured out anything more than the basic premise of, and I may have even uploaded like 1 or 2 pages of it at some point. And the general idea of it was, imagine a world, everyone, and this is just like our world, very normal, blah, 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 except at some point, these things started showing up, and the best way to describe them is they look like these black blobs that can approximate a human shape. And they are clearly sapient, but not in a familiar way. They don't have a fucking brain for starters, but they are definitely individual sapient beings. And they are coming from somewhere, and no one can figure out where. And this story I was thinking of telling takes place maybe 8, 9 years after this started happening. And
Mhm.
they are very quietly, and by they, I kind of mean like the government, are very quietly kind of doing this pilot program to just integrate these things into normal human society in a very sort of quiet, understated way, just to see if it can be done. And the story I was planning on telling, and maybe wrote 1 or 2 pages and roughed out 1 or 2 pages of, but eventually abandoned, is there is a guy who is kind of loser is strong. He is he's I fucking love losers. I love writing about losers. He is this guy who kind of tried to go to film school, didn't work out, crashed back with, and this is another theme of mine, crashed back with his stepmom, not his mom, not his dad. They are not in the picture and they are literally never mentioned. But the woman he lives with is his stepmom and his stepbrother. There is no blood relation, but this is who he has chosen to live with, or possibly dot 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 question mark, who the people who are left who will take him in. And he is a very intense guy, kind of think mid 20s, like in his 20s age, mid 20s Henry Rollins on stage, kind of intense guy, massive resting bitch face, works out, kind of intimidating, has no friends, doesn't seem to want any. So he's this guy, and he is working in a movie theater, and he is a projectionist in the theater, and he is insanely critical of every film that he shows. He hates every single one. He thinks it's all fucking trash. So I'm sort of like illustrating this dude who's incredibly difficult to be around and has no friends. And it's like, no surprise, he has no friends. And then they hire a janitor, and the janitor is one of these little black blob things. And it it has no ego. It has no preconceived notions of anything. It is functionally as close to a blank slate as a adult sapient being can be. And this guy sees this thing and he decides this is his opportunity to make a person he can stand to be around. And so he basically forces this thing to hang out with him, who doesn't resist, by the way, because it doesn't have any friends either. It doesn't even understand the concept of having a friend. So he just knows that there's this very intense dude who is constantly recommending the right films to him and saying, come with me to McDonald's. And he has been going through training in wherever the government has been keeping him going. This is how you make friends. So this guy's like, so this black blob thing was like, oh, okay. And so imagine this very passive, like not even like calling him black is inaccurate. He's more like Vanta black. He's like super black. He just doesn't reflect light. And he's like this, so calling him an oil slick is wrong too, but he's just like this black thing with
Abby
like
says, "Oh no, he's going to make the Roomba a jerk."
and he has he has eyes, but he does not use them to see. They are literally there for the comfort of human beings. He has been instructed to manifest a face to make humans comfortable, so that is what he does. And he has been instructed to hold a human shape to make humans comfortable and wear clothes over that human shape, so that is what he does. So this black amoebic thing is sitting with this really intense asshole at McDonald's having conversations about Stanley Kubrick and about how everyone is an idiot jerk asshole except this guy. And I think about this a lot, and I wish I had something more than that because I don't have anywhere for it to go. I just love the idea of this jerk off, working through him being a jerk off and working out why he's so unhappy all the time and why he has no friends and why no one likes him and why he can't achieve his goals and why he's back at his mom's house after graduation. He couldn't even get hired as like fucking, craft services in Hollywood because he's like this. And maybe he kind of stops wanting to be like this, but he doesn't know how to stop being like this. And so he's basically forcing this thing who is wholly and thoroughly unequipped in a way that no one has been unequipped before to be his sounding board and therapist. And maybe also he's going to make sure he doesn't turn into someone he can't stand like all the other people in the world. And like this is this nugget of an idea I have had for a decade plus, and I'm just like, I want to do something with it, but I cannot figure out where it goes.
Does it have to go somewhere?
I kind of want it to. I want it to resolve somehow. Abby Lurkey, like alienation if the aliens were weirder. You know what? I definitely think there's some alienation DNA in there. Absolutely. But yeah, that's a thing I've been thinking about for a long time. It has no name.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That's a lie. For a while, it did have a name. I was calling it Ordinary, but I don't think I'd call it that now.
Yeah, I frequently have like I feel like a lot of the City Between stories that that are like not the next one or the one after that, but maybe like 5 stories from now are kind of in that state where I know like here's the vague idea, but I don't know how it's going to conclude and what will it how like middle parts are there, but I don't know um finalization parts or even how it would like what would the inciting incident be
Yeah.
because Teen Wolf Boy, who is missing an ear. In a lot of werewolf stories, the werewolf is all angsty because they're a werewolf, and oh no, they are a monster. Um, Teen Wolf Boy, I kind of want to do something about like toxic masculinity. So, Teen Wolf Boy had a shitty stepdad that was abusive to his mom. And he is not angsty and thinking the wolf part of the werewolf makes him a monster. He is worried the person part makes him a monster.
Uh-huh.
And because he has recognized that some of the behaviors that he is doing are things that his shitty abusive stepdad used to do because he during Murky Water and Dead Deception, he is in foster care, and you do not have the explanation why until the end of Murky Water. But basically, he became a werewolf when he was like 11. And he accidentally killed his abusive stepdad because he did not know how to control super strength. Um,
Aw.
and that is why he is in foster care. But as he has gotten older and has started to want to pursue people romantically, he has accidentally realized that some of the things that he learned from his shitty abusive stepdad, he is accidentally repeating. So he has awareness of it because he was separated from that source, but still doesn't know how to figure it out. So I know like that's kind of what I want to do with him, but I don't know like, okay, but where are we going to start the story and where are we going to end the story?
Matt Sheridan. I just realized that this story is the platonic equivalent of one of those surprise I'm your wife now animes. What makes you think it stays platonic, sweetie? Oh, that's
Born
the
sexy yesterday.
more yeah, it's a but no, that never occurs to me that they fuck. I just oh god, I fucking hate that interpretation. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Oh god, no. I do my best. See, now you're making me never want to do it. Thank you, dear. Also, Abby is recommending a what is this? Abby Lurkey, Spike, you should read Shadow's House. It's like this, spoilers, but with kidnapping children. See, when you say that, it makes me kind of squirrely about reading it because I don't want to do that thing where I see an idea and I go, fuck, well, now I can't use that. I'd rather be like wholly ignorant of anything remotely similar.
See, I'm the opposite because I want to know everything that's been done on this topic to see if there's something that I feel like can get pushed further that people haven't been doing.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe that's because I write more genre fiction than you do. So since like the thing that sort of frustrates me is you get someone who has never written a vampire book or never written a werewolf book, and they're like, I will reinvent this thing that is widely known in pop culture,
Uh-huh.
and
They're
because
basic as
they are
shit.
not from
Yeah.
well, it's because they've never like dealt with the genre, like they've never
Yeah.
interacted with the
Yeah.
genre before. It's like, yeah, there are 5 books about that.
Yeah, they
Um,
think they're blowing the roof off by going, "But what if
yeah.
vampires fell in love?" And it's like,
What if
are you
what if
new?"
vampires were a metaphor for rich people?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, we understand that. That's like,
What
I
if
too have read Dracula.
what if werewolfism, what if lycanthropy was an STD? Oh, you're new. That's sweet.
Yeah. Oh, you're new here. Um. So like. I don't ever want to be the person doing that.
I get you. I get you.
I want, but also by doing this, it lets me it lets me encounter stuff that I have not thought to like. Sean McGuire has a werewolf book that is
Mhm.
all about how werewolves can't live in Australia because they're an invasive species, and that's
That is
fucking great.
absolutely
Um,
fair. Australia has all kinds of
yeah.
special restrictions. That is one they would definitely have.
So yeah, so like that was a great book, and I was
They
like,
couldn't
and you know,
win a war
and
against emus. What are they gonna do with werewolves?
yeah, so yeah, so the whole book is kind of discussing if you have supernatural creatures that are humanoid and have human level intelligence, uh can you argue that they're an invasive species?
Hmm.
Because the reason why invasive species are a problem is that they are not intelligent enough to stop doing what they do.
Well, the question
Um,
there would be how much of that intelligence do they retain in wolf form, I guess.
that is one of the main questions, but so the thing also comes like, but one of the ongoing things in the story is you find out there are other supernatural things that are humanoid, that Australia is being shitty to and using the invasive species argument, but they don't have that shifting thing that werewolves do. They're
Mm,
always like sentient. So
yeah.
just because they're not human doesn't mean like that you should treat them like an animal, sort of counterpoint.
Yeah.
Like what one of them, one of the other characters is a gorgon, so she has like Medusa hair, and like yeah, they're telling her you can't live in Australia, you're an invasive species, and it's like you're carrying out in a conversation with her.
Yeah.
And she has put away her snake hair so you don't turn to stone. The fact that she is sentient enough to do that,
Yeah. Abby
means
Lurkey.
like yeah.
Yeah. Abby Lurkey. Well, it's good to know that about you, Spike. Well, you want to know how deep it goes, Abby? This is absolutely true. So while I'm having my like ridiculous fantasies about this story, this boy and his blob story, as it was put in the chat, about this antisocial just fuckhead and his little black blob friend, his little Vanta Black blob of a pal, I had this idea that one thing that would be really cool is after they do this whole midnight madness horror movie marathon one evening, that of course the guy fucking can't stop shit talking the entire time. He and the blob thing start walking in the same direction home because blob thing needs to check in. He doesn't actually have a like ankle thing, like an ankle monitor on, but wherever he goes after he is done working, he has to check in. And if he misses a
Mhm,
check in, something will happen. And he doesn't know what that'll be. He wasn't told. He just knows that it will happen. And the guy follows him, and he is following him because he's not done complaining. Like this is the one
mhm,
person that will listen to him. He follows him and they're walking down a street, and it's like a normal kind of suburban street where it's lit, but it's not like fucking, sodium lights blaring down and every
mhm,
corner is really well lit. And so they're walking down, and then the blob guy stops, and the human stops and looks in the direction the blob's looking, and it's another blob, except it's not like him. It's not in a humanoid form. It's not manifesting a face or eyes or even a head. It is just an oily black spot. And he recognizes it instantly as not just an oily black spot because after he starts looking at it, it moves. And then it just sort of makes itself a column and then spreads itself out like a fan and then goes into the cracks that are in the sidewalk and the curb and just rockets off in another direction. And what becomes clear is it's another one of these things that has just shown up.
mhm,
And it's not
mhm,
like him, it hasn't been here for years. It's just one of those things. And the whole time the human's like, "What are you looking at? Is that you? Is that one of you? What is that? Do we need to do something? What do we do? Holy fuck, what was that?" And the blob, the human blob, the acclimated, assimilated blob just sort of mentions that he doesn't know how to say how he feels about that because that's been him, and he can't really put into words what it feels like for that to be you. And it's kind of like meant to be this first time that asshole guy kind of understands this thing he mostly talks at. They don't have conversations, he talks at it, actually has some kind of interior life. So that was like the thing I had planned.
mhm.
I now cannot use that scene because I realized it was probably inspired by something I saw in a really obscure comic a decade ago called Top 10, which is about a world where it follows not the superheroes in the world, but the sort of gumshoe dime a dozen cops who are kind of forced to deal with the fact they function in a world with superheroes. So
Mhm.
I can't fucking use it. That fucking annoys the shit out of me.
Um,
But yeah.
I
Um,
mean, just do it. Like,
honestly, I've had that conversation with myself. Like, no offense, top 10 was good, but who remembers top 10? No one.
but even like if someone does, like they probably have fond memories of it,
And
and
they
so
wouldn't
like
make the
as long as
connection, I don't think. But I
yeah,
would.
it and but like even if they did make the connection, they it might just be like, oh, that's kind of cool, like this other cool thing that I read. Like so, it's I feel like as long as you're not like beating the drum as you're the most original person on earth and no one has had these ideas but you, as long as you're not the person claiming to reinvent the genre like no one else has before, like
Yeah,
um
Abby Lurkey. She ignored me calling her a coward. I heard you, Abby. It's just your opinion don't matter to me.
um
I love you, Abby.
anyway, I got a lot of werewolf thoughts.
Oh God, when do you not have werewolf thoughts? You are my werewolf thought commander in chief.
I've been doing a I'm gonna do a watching a werewolf movie every Saturday on my
You
in
did
my
mention
Discord.
that. Would you like to promote your
Uh
Discord?
yes. I well see the thing is you have to get the link from me. So if someone wants it, they need to message me either on Twitter or they can pop into my Twitch. I will post the link in my Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/Kel McDonald. Basically, so last Saturday we watched American Werewolf in London. And if you don't know, that is frequently cited as the best werewolf movie. I hadn't seen it in a while. Like I own it, but it's one of those things where like the DVD sits on my shelf for ages and ages, and I don't regularly go to it because that's effort to put the DVD in the DVD player. Um, and I so whenever I had forgotten how funny it is. Um, that's the thing that people don't talk about is that American Werewolf in London is funny as well as a good horror movie.
Mhm.
Um, because it kind of has a dry sense of humor, which that's my favorite kind of humor. Um, like the guy wakes up naked at the zoo and is trying to figure out how to leave while covering his junk, and he sees a kid with a bunch of balloons and is like, hey kid, come here, I'll give you a pound, while he's hiding in a bush, and the kid's like, no, he just shakes his head and he goes, I'll give you 2 pounds. And then the kid finally comes over and he's like, I am the great balloon thief. And the kid's like, why would a thief want to give me 2 pounds? And then the werewolf guy he goes, well, that's a very good question. And then he just takes the kid's balloons and runs. Um,
Mhm.
and then the kid goes up to his mom and says, a naked American man just stole all my balloons.
Oh. Oh, wow. Someone in the chat just came up with your new title, Kel. Snake of June.
What?
Big werewolf thought haver.
Yes.
You
I
are big.
mean,
That's a Twitter description
I,
for every
I
person.
have I have pins that say werewolf expert, and that is also accurate to me.
Yeah.
Like,
It's branding. It's your brand.
my brand. I
Amanda,
also have
why
the
are you
domain. Um, I have the domain werewolf.business. Um, and it redirects to my website. So if you go to werewolf.business, you will
Mhm.
be taken to my website.
Amanda, why are you so quiet?
Hmm?
Why are you so quiet?
I'm just listening to y'all. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, it is coming up on 2 hours, so I suggest we close it out here.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for coming. Per usual, you can find me on Twitter at iron_spike. Please follow me on there. I'd super appreciate it. You can also follow Iron Circus Comics on Twitter, spelled Comix instead of the proper way, because that's what would fit. Iron Circus Comics, all one word. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow us on there. Please read my comic. It is the pinned tweet. No, Amanda, I have not made a proper pinned tweet yet. It's still just my comic. It's all in one thread, and you can read all the, I think, 41 pages that are up there. Thank you so much for listening to us, and please like the stream and follow Iron Circus Comics on YouTube.
You can find me on Twitter as Kellhound, which is spelled like Hellhound but with a K. I have a fan Discord, which I linked on my Twitch. As I said, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/KelMcDonald. You can also find my many werewolf comics at kelmcdonald.com or at werewolf.business. I also do a comic that is on Patreon called You Are the Chosen One. It's about 23 kids that get the same prophecy dream telling them they're the chosen one. If you back my Patreon for even $1 a month, you can read it at Patreon.com/KelMcDonald. That's all my stuff.
I'm Amanda. It's Amanda Gaffaday. That's my Twitter. I have a pinned tweet that links to all my stuff.
That's so efficient.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for coming. We'll try and be less morose and more creative next time. Hey,
Yay.
next time. No. I take that back. We're just gonna play fucking video games next time, aren't we? Yeah, I'm gonna play RimWorld, and Amanda is going to watch me play RimWorld. And I'm going to demonstrate.
I thought we agreed that Amanda was going to play RimWorld.
Nope, it's fine. Spike can play RimWorld, and I'll braid.
Yeah, there's no way Amanda is going to make any human skin fedoras. That has to be me.
Amazing.
All right, thank you, everybody.